What's happening, guys? Good to be back. Today I am here with my 1970 C10 pickup, and it went through quite a transformation over the last week or so. I was trying really hard to get this done for the 4th of July parades. Unfortunately, it just didn't quite happen. We're into drive shaft issues and exhaust issues, but check it out. I'm going to show you the whole process beginning to end, and then we're going to attempt to start this thing up right after that. So stick around, and thanks for watching.
The first thing I tackled on this was the hood, which was kind of a pain by myself because it was heavy. After that, I got to the cooling system where I removed the shroud, the radiator, the fan, all that good stuff to get it out of my way. I made myself a nice puddle to land. After that, I removed the carb linkage and the carb itself. The manifold studs were the next on my list, along with the distributor and alternator as well. I started day 2 off by removing this 2-piece drive shaft. Then it was on to the transmission crossmember. And I removed the transmission cooling lines as well. All that's left here is remove the motor mount bolts. Look safe. Just like kids, you can typically drop a motor once or twice, but I wouldn't recommend it. I strapped it up tighter with a better system and lifted her up another time. It's always a bit more challenging when you decide to pull the motor and transmission as one unit. But we eventually liberated it. A couple weeks ago, I plucked the engine out of this Corvette I set in here a couple years ago. It was bolted to the transmission and some of the torque converter bolts, but nothing serious. So it came out pretty easily. This is a late model 5.7 out of a 1998 van. I have to change out the flex plate because I hogged out a couple of the holes trying to make it fit the torque converter on the Corvette. That's not the way to do it. So I put a new flex plate on it that I bought from the store. Unfortunately, that did not fit the center bore for that one. just behind this motor, I actually have another 350 sitting where I was able to steal another flex plate off of. So, saved the day there. I now pronounce you man and wife, till death do you part. I scavenged some of the accessories off of the older stuff, like the shifter linkage. This is a new starter that I put on it, but I took the water pump and the crank pulley system as well, because I want to run V-belt on this thing. I will be using the alternator and the power steering pump off the original motor as well. The new motor went in with a little less intensity. However, when I lowered this thing down, I noticed it was laying right on the frame, and those manifolds weren't going to work. Unfortunately, I'd cracked the old one. That's what had gone wrong with the old motor. Something exploded inside of it, and they weren't going to happen. Luckily, I ran to the junkyard and was able to find another ram horn style that was going to fit this perfectly. Next, I had to locate the appropriate drive shaft. I figured I'd have one among the dozens I had laying around. However, I did not. A man's got to do what a man's got to do, and sometimes that means hacking a perfectly good drive shaft in twain to try to make it work. So, after all that lovely grinding, cutting, welding, all that, I went to shove this thing back in, and I had simply taken too much out. I had taken about twice the amount of material that I needed to. And that old adage, you know, you can always take more, but you can't put back, that was certainly true here. There was no fixing this once I had cut it, welded it together, the whole 9 yards. It would have just never been even close to straight, and it wasn't going to be very straight to begin with. So that's when I got even more desperate. I decided my only course of action was to steal the drive shaft out of my dad's 1979 K15 Sierra. I figured it would work because it had a long tail shaft 350 in it. However, when I stuck it up into where it was supposed to go, it simply was not even close. There was no shortcuts on this one. So I did what I should have done right from the get-go, and I found the right length drive shaft. I cut out the old U-joints in it, and I got some conversion U-joints. That makes so that I'd be able to use the slip out of the old drive shaft and be able to bolt it into the rear end of the thing as well. Exactly as intended. Looking beautiful. Plenty of slip up there. It was about 1.5 to 2 inches, and I was even able to mangle it through that hole there without cutting anything. I see some people have cut that out. I didn't have to. Fits great. After that, I tested out the shifter to see if it went through all the gears and if it was able to actually move the cable and whatnot, and it worked as well. Now it's time to find top dead center by rotating the block around and removing the number 1 spark plug and just waiting for the air to come out. And then I was ready to drop my distributor in as close as I could get it, and lined up all my spark plug wires on the correct firing order. You can see my phone sitting there. I'm reading what to put them where. Next, I'm slapping on the carburetor. Some people wait till last to do that, but I really needed the motivation here just to look at that beautiful chrome sitting up there. Now I'm installing the real basic throttle linkage for the thing. It's very simple on this and worked well. No problems there at all. I still have to contend with the kickdown linkage for the transmission, which can be a little tricky on these. I cut off the very end of the linkage and I decided to use a little electrical connector. I think it'll work just fine for my uses. Now I'm wiring my basic little fuel pump. It's just a little cheap clicky-clacky one. Here I'm actually installing the transmission lines to the transmission from the top of the truck. Could you even imagine doing such a thing on a modern vehicle? I'm on to my basic finishing touches at this point, just getting the last little parts and pieces in, radiators going in, and I'll be pretty much ready to crack this sucker off after I put some fluids in it. Unfortunately, I immediately notice that it's leaking coolant when I start filling it up, and it's coming right out of the water pump. I'm sure my dad's giving me some sage advice at this point in the project. The water pump was badly pitted and looked a little distressed. I hit it with some coarse sandpaper and slapped a bunch of RTV and some new gaskets on it, and some hope. Then I slapped the whole mess back together again. No leaks this time.
All right, we're gonna give it a go. First thing we gotta see is if the fuel pump making sound. It's good. See if it's leaking gasoline everywhere real quick. Sounds good. I had to go on an electric fuel pump this time. Choke is set. Smells like gas. It is always scary, these first startups. All right. To me, it sounds like it's a little bit out of time, first and foremost. I'm sure it is. But it'd be nice to just be able to start it up, just to even get a baseline. Okay, timing's way off. We're not terribly far off, but we're off. Oh, I tightened it good, actually. That's nice for me. Some big changes there. Let's see. Pretty far off. Oh, nope.
At this point, I decide that the timing is such a mess that I just have to take the number one spark plug out again, remove the fan so I can get to that crank bolt easily and rotate the thing around and find out where top dead center is once again.
Okay, now we've got the three things, air, spark, fuel. Fuel hooked up now. Let's see, I think it's gonna run. I think the exhaust is gonna sound terrible. That donut didn't seal very good. So we're gonna have to do something with that, but let's see if she cracks off now. Sounds a little bit like a vacuum leak too. Starts up pretty good though. Let me try to close that choke plate, if I can speak. Let's see what it does there. Man, that exhaust is bad. The donut must not have sealed at all. It's okay. It's running.
I think the pump gave up on us.
Okay, I think I've got it tuned, ported, and ready to rock now. I put a fresh fuel pump on that. The old one knocked itself out. It was really cheap, like $12 Amazon one. This is an expensive, like $20 Amazon one. So I have total faith in it. I don't have it plugged in, hardwired in yet, but I'm just gonna plug it in over here and then crank it and see what it does. I'm prepared for the exhaust to sound awful. That's okay. That was running. Oh. Someone barbecuing? That was worse. Oh, right there. Got a big vacuum hose open that'll hinder things. Big vacuum leak. That doesn't help anything. Let's try that. What did I forget to put in? The spark plug. Oh, that sounds like a pretty aggressive exhaust leak. No, it's just the engine not running on all 8 cylinders with a hole essentially in it. Let's try this one more time with all 8 cylinders attached. Okay. Beautiful. We'll even put the spark plug wire on. We're feeling punchy. Okay.
A little bit of an exhaust leak, but not bad. It's actually running real nice.
I just want to bar this thing over, make sure it's not seizing up on me or something sad like that. And fortunately, it's not the case at all.
Sounds like the starter's not disengaging, perhaps. Definitely what it is. However, it runs very well, I would say. Starts right up. I'm quite happy with that. I think this is where I'm going to end it. In the next one, I'm going to show you, I'm going to tune this up a little bit more, get it running just right. I got a monkey with the transmission. The kickdown linkage for all that's pretty different from what came out of here. And I got to fix that starter because that'll drive a man crazy if it sits like that the whole time. But this is as it is. There'll be a little bit of fine tuning here or there, but I think it's going to be a great truck. That motor sounds fantastic other than that terrible whining from that starter. Timing, got to work a little bit more on that. I think it's pretty good. And I'm pretty happy with the carb on here. It's just all a little bit more fine tuning, but we'll get into that the next one. So thanks for watching. Check out the next one and we'll see you then. Thanks, guys.